You have a cure for cancer that's hiding in your closet. Meanwhile, people are out there needlessly suffering because you don't want to be too salesy. That ends today. Welcome to another episode of Euphoric, the podcast. I'm Karolina Jadkowalska, your host, also author of the book Euphoric, Ditch Alcohol and Gain a Happier, More Confident You. And I have been running Euphoric AF as a movement for years now, really declaring that going alcohol-free is the biggest competitive advantage you will ever receive in your life. And really talking about how going alcohol free is not just a power move, it is a status symbol, and it will truly propel you and awaken you to what your biggest purpose is on this planet and what you're truly meant to do. With that, so many people, so many women especially, really get this knowing that they are meant to launch a business, they are meant to grow a movement, they are meant to share this transformation with other people as well. And there's just so many people that I meet out there, whether it's through my own community, my own audience, or, I go to a lot of conferences, I guest speak in a lot of groups per se. I just meet people out there all the time who really want to build their own empire of impact. Whether that's someone who literally is already scaling to six figures or trying to hit their first six-figure year, whether that's someone who is posting already consistently and growing an audience on social media, but hasn't yet made their first high-ticket sale, or whether that's someone who literally just has a dream at this moment and hasn't taken those concrete action steps to actually make it happen. And I truly believe for anyone who's here to truly make a huge difference in the world and truly build an empire of impact, the number one skill that we can truly master to make the biggest difference is premium selling. Now, here's the thing. Selling gets a very bad rep. Women specifically have a very negative relationship with selling, right? We get the ick factor. We think bro marketing. We think that used car salesman vibe, right? And so many of us hide, and so many of us are not selling the thing that we would really make the biggest impact and difference in this world because of that whole negative bias towards selling in the first place. I've also met women who were literally in sales and marketing positions in corporate and do an amazing job selling something on behalf of a company or on someone else's vision. But when it's time to actually sell themselves, they crumble. Like the math doesn't add up and the confidence and the conviction just isn't there. And truly, this needs to change today. Truly, learning how to master premium selling would change so many lives. I mean, let's just imagine your life. What would happen in your life if you really became a master at premium selling? How much would that affect you and your family? How much autonomy would you get back when you are no longer on someone else's schedule, when you no longer have to work for an employer to be able to provide for your family? If you truly unlocked premium selling, you could literally live the life you want, have the schedule you want to have, build the business you want to build, travel when you want to, live at full autonomy, whether that's being at home when you want to. I mean, I talk to so many women who, for example, just gave birth and not too much longer after that have to go back to work at corporate. And it's like, oh, what this world, right? Like, it just makes me so angry that we don't have more autonomy right now and that these avenues to success are often thought of as this like bro marketing thing that a woman shouldn't get involved with. And so what happens is a lot of times I feel like we, especially as women, we are taught to really lower our dreams and our expectations. So for example, I'll be talking to two total beginners. One's a male, one's a female. The male wants to have the top podcast in the world. Like he's claiming it. He is coming from this decision from power, from certainty, like I'm going to change the world. I'm going to have the top podcast in the world. The woman can barely even admit that she even wants a profitable business. And even if she says, yeah, I want to like sign clients and do this, she always takes a step back, right? Like what is happening here? And so I truly believe that the world would be so different if more women were claiming a seat at the table, if more women were making a ton of money from their zone of genius, and what that ripple effect would create in their own confidence, in their families, and just in work life in general. I mean, We have to be super honest with ourselves. The next 30 years in the workforce is going to change more than it has in the last millennia before that. The changes with AI, the changes with corporation structures, the changes with how we perceive value in the society, it is going to change a lot. And the old structures are going to die, whether we leave them behind ourselves or we get pushed out of them ourselves, right? Which boat do you want to be on? And there's just going to be such a new way of, being able to create completely new work life existences, basically, right? And I think that's something that so many online entrepreneurs have already gotten the gist of and the handle on, and really being able to design their life as they want to and not on someone else's timetable. And I think it's such a valuable skill that when you know how to do premium selling, when you're not shying away, when you are completely embodied and convicted in your leadership to be able to call in the dreamiest humans that you're meant to work with, you will change your financial freedom, your family's destiny, and how you truly show up in the world. So, from just the selfish perspective, although I would argue that is not selfish by any means, it's going to change your life. But here's the other thing that often people don't understand, especially when they think of selling as icky or as, the used car salesman kind of vibe that we get. I know that what you have to offer in the world isn't icky. Like I'm pretty sure that what we're talking about here is you sharing your transformation and your zone of genius out into the world, or else you probably wouldn't be listening to this podcast. I'm not talking to the get rich quick schemers who are trying to drop ship some product from Amazon, some plastic product from China, and then sell it on Amazon, right? Like, that's not who I'm talking to. And another thing that comes across as icky sometimes to me is in the online world, like, there's so much transformation that's to be had. So I usually come at it with like less of a skeptic's point of view and more of a like, yeah, how can this help me? And I think that's what differentiates people who are well off versus people who are always stuck in a scarcity mindset is they don't see things as scams. They don't see things as, oh, what is this person trying to get out of me? They truly see like, oh my gosh, there's an opportunity. This could get me there faster, further, move along greater. I'm going to go and leverage that. And the only time that I truly get the ick when I'm in the online world is usually the bro marketer. And the bro marketer, there's not like every guy does this, obviously, of course not. But the bro marketer tactic is usually where you don't really have a brand. You don't share value on the internet. You don't share podcasts. You don't have a YouTube channel. You're not sharing emails. What you do is you set up one ad with a funnel, and then you get someone in through your ad into your email list, and then you pitch them relentlessly on your program. And there's literally no evidence of you on the internet. You're not sharing value. You're not giving advice for free. Like, you basically don't exist if you're not in this person's funnel. And that's the thing that can give me the like weird vibe, right? But I don't think I'm talking to anyone here who's gonna be doing that. I'm not talking to anyone who's doing the icky thing. I'm talking to the person whose transformation is literally like a cure for cancer. Seriously, imagine it. Let's imagine that you have the cure for cancer. You're gonna have to sell the world on it. And if you keep it hidden in your closet, no one's life is gonna be changed, right? If you had the cure for cancer, what would you do? You would shout from the rooftops how this thing that you found is literally going to save so many people's lives and buy them into the thing that you have to offer. You would have to sell it, right? It wouldn't just be like, oh, I have the cure and then the world will proliferate it. You would have to sell it. You would have to buy people into your vision and into the life-changing transformation that you have. Now, here's the thing is you do have the cure for cancer. You do. Like, especially if you've renegotiated and changed your relationship with alcohol, if you've gone on transformations in your health journey, in your money mindset, in your, just sense of possibility, in your business, in so many different areas of your life, you have someone's cure for cancer. And by not getting in a really healthy relationship with selling, and especially premium selling, it's as if you're holding that back. It's as if you're literally hiding that cure for cancer in your closet. Let me give you a really tangible, concrete example. So let's imagine that I'm an alcohol-free coach, which, isn't very hard to imagine here. And let's say that I charge anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 for a coaching package with me. A transformational coaching package that would literally help someone completely lose the desire for alcohol. Let's just go with the number 3,000 for now. So let's say I'm working with someone and I help them completely lose the desire for drinking and they go alcohol free. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't some like wobbles or slips at the beginning, right? But we work together, we work through it all. And at the end, they are just so grounded in this new alcohol free lifestyle. Let's imagine that in that client's case, that if they had continued to drink, they would have set themselves up for dying 20 years earlier than they should have because of cancer or cardiovascular disease that root cause was actually alcohol. Now, here's the thing, a lot of people don't know this. When they calculate deaths that come from alcohol, they usually only look at liver complications and cirrhosis. A lot of times they're not doing the calculation of all the other diseases that were literally increased because of alcohol use. And so, like, so much of our cancers, our cardiovascular disease, our dementia, so many chronic issues, diabetes, are actually the result of drinking. And so when you do that more holistic sweep of really truly how many deaths are happening in this world because of alcohol, the number is staggering. So let's imagine in this case, it wasn't someone who was gonna, pass away from cirrhosis or anything, but they were going to get some kind of cancer that would have not happened to them if they weren't a drinker. And obviously, we can't declare whether this would have happened or not, but let's just imagine in this hypothetical situation, we do have these facts. So this person works with me, or you in this case, and they get 20 years left back on their life. 20 years of health and vitality and being free and pursuing their dreams and living life with full potentiality. Now imagine it's 2050 and this person is in their, their 70s or so forth, and they're playing with their grandchildren and they're feeling so blessed and so alive and just so grateful. Do you think that that person is going to think back to 2026 and be like, oh gosh, I'm really missing those $3,000 now? I really regret doing that. I really miss that money. Of course not. Of course not, right? They would be so thrilled at the health and vitality that they have unlocked as they feel so good for themselves and are able to really be there for their grandchildren. Now, that's the thing, is oftentimes we are afraid of selling the cure for cancer because we don't want to be salesy and we assume that people can't afford it. And sometimes, right, money can be very fickle, right? Nobody ever feels well off. Nobody ever feels like they have enough money. So someone's I can't afford it is completely subjective, completely subjective. That you could be making multiple six figures, live in a beautiful penthouse in New York, and still feel like you can't afford something because you have a lot of expenses in life, right? Money is so subjective. But it is also temporary and replenishable. None of us are going to take money to the grave, and money replenishes all the time, right? I mean, just think of the common example of a paycheck that just gets delivered every 2 weeks or every month, or every time you make a sale, you just replenish the money. Time is not ever replenishable. And I would also argue having a true awakening to how profound your life really is, that is not replenishable either. And so when you're holding back something that can truly change someone's life, you're robbing them. You're robbing them of the ability to actually replenish the money that they're going to spend on the thing that they're buying anyway, but actually gain what you are truly envisioning for them. And that's the mindset that changes everything. Premium selling is literally about seeing the highest level version of your potential client. It is seeing the highest vision for them. It is seeing the highest potentiality for them. It is believing in what they can create and do and change and transform in a way that nobody's ever believed in them. And it is not woo-woo. It is not like blowing smoke up someone's ass. It is the true grounded energetics of I see something in you that is like a diamond, that is truly so profound, and that you have limitless possibilities in front of you when we change these things, when we are able to change these patterns. It's not about fixing someone, right? It's about being able to reprogram the mind from the things that don't already belong, the limiting beliefs, the patterns, the habits, the alcohol programming, all that kind of stuff. And so that to me is what premium selling is. When I sell to you, listener of this podcast, I see you in your highest vision. I see you doing incredible things with your business. I see your book in bookstores and doing a book tour around the world that literally changes so many lives. I see you selling out retreats in Mallorca and Bali. I see you changing other people's lives, people that I'm not meant to reach. I truly believe that, especially when you get into this transformation business and online education, that yes, there's gurus that are out there and super big. Tony Robbins is huge, right? Marie Forleo is huge. But there are people's lives. I believe in soul contracts. And soul contracts is this concept that you were paired with someone before you came to this planet, and you had a contract with them that you guys would be in a mutually beneficial relationship. And especially if you're a coach and client, what that can mean is that you are meant to help them change their life. You are meant to be a mentor to them. And if that person doesn't meet you and work with you, their life will not be changed. So it doesn't matter that Tony Robbins is out there. It doesn't matter that Marie Forleo is already out there. It doesn't matter that Annie Grace is already out there. It doesn't matter if I'm already out there. That person only has a soul contract with you. And if you don't step up and sell to them, not just show up, right? We have to get visible enough for them to find us, but also for them to actually feel the potentiality of what could happen in the transformation that we're offering. If you don't do that, their life isn't going to be changed. That's what premium selling really is, right? And you see you as the dear listener of this show, and I'm going to sell to you because I see a vision for you that maybe is 10 times bigger than you see for yourself right now. And if you already see for you I want to help you achieve it, right? And that's why I wear it on my sleeve. I'm constantly inviting you to come into my space, to come into the 5X certification, to come into Thought Leader, because I know what is possible for you. I know how big that is for you. There's nothing sleazy about it. There's nothing icky about it, right? When you're grounded in your heart, when you're so grounded in the potentiality of the transformation, when you're so grounded and have lived the experience, when you yourself have changed your life, and you know how profound it is, you know how much of a huge difference it's made in your life, right? And let's go back to alcohol, because that's the thing that brings most of us here together. When you have stopped drinking, everything changes, right? It's not just your health and how you feel on a Sunday morning. It's like your vision, your perspective, your mind that used to be shackled by these limiting beliefs and so much of a perspective and a worldview that was so locked in. It's like everything shatters. There's so much potentiality. And I've gone through this in multiple podcast episodes before about how, the alcohol-free brain is capable of $1 million ideas, and the neuroplasticity brain scramble that happens when you go alcohol-free. Like, there's just so much possibility there. And if you've experienced it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't experienced it yet, oh my dear, get inside my world, get inside Euphoric the Club. This May, we are doing a Lose the Desire to Drink challenge. I'm going to be breaking something down that I've been teaching for years, but making it so simple and so applicable in your life that you can truly get freedom from alcohol. And if you've already on the other side, you know how profound that transformation is. So are you hiding it? And what does hiding it mean? Hiding it means you live the transformation, you don't share it with anyone else. So you haven't made any concrete steps towards a business or a model that would actually be able to share that with the world. Maybe you are already sharing. So maybe you're building up a social media and you're, posting all the time, but you're not really premium selling yet. Like you can sell a $30 challenge, but you're not really bringing in people into the heart and the depth of a transformation through high ticket. And maybe also you are already selling and getting clients, but you're not taking it to the next level of impact that you can get. And that would require a whole new range of depth of premium selling to be able to get there. Either way, we're hiding. And I wouldn't be able to call this all out if I haven't been there before. I've definitely been there. I've definitely found myself in these positions where I retract, I constrict instead of sharing the gospel. Now, this isn't a religious show. I don't talk about religion ever, but it is a gospel, isn't it? It's like, come hear the good news. Like, come hear how amazing your life can be. And we don't share it because either we're embarrassed, we don't want to be salesy, we don't want to be sleazy, we don't want to be preachy, all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't matter even if the transformation is different than the one I'm talking about. It could be about healing burnout. It could be about, becoming an incredible mom while your child is a toddler and absorbing so much of the world, and really how to help them grow. It could be so many different things, but it's like whatever you're passionate about, there's a transformation that lives in that, and you've experienced it already. And so if we are not stepping into the embodied leadership of premium selling, we are holding it back from that person who is meant to have their life changed through the soul contract that only we can have. Okay, at this point of the story, usually what happens, Carolina, what if I can't guarantee the transformation? And I hear this a lot, right? Obviously, I certify a lot of coaches, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I get this fear, right? Is there a guarantee that if someone joins your program, your group, your mentorship, your consulting, your one on one, your whatever it is there a guarantee that their life will change? I mean, I'm going to be really honest with you. And I think that anyone telling you any different isn't being honest with you. You can't. You can't give someone a guarantee, right? People at the end of the day are operating out of their own free will. However, you can stack the odds drastically in your corner. And the reason why I love premium selling so much is because I am so convicted that if you are not really embodied in your transformational skills, in your facilitation, in your ability to affect the subconscious mind, then you won't be a very good salesperson. You won't be able to sell someone into the transformation. You won't be able to claim the 3K, 5K, 10K packages. You won't be able to claim the 5K, 10K, 20K, 50K, 70K, 100K months. None of that will be possible because I can't guarantee that someone is going to change their life. But if I become the best coach I can be, if I learn deeply how to affect change in the subconscious mind, recognizing that consciously everybody wants to change, consciously everybody wants to be richer and have a successful business and be fitter and not drink and all the things, right? It's not in the conscious mind. It's all in the subconscious. And you could be having someone tell you literally one thing, I want this is my vision, da da da, but their subconscious has them operating in a completely different way, out of fear, out of doubt, out of lack, out of scarcity. And so if we are not able to really speak to the subconscious and reprogram the subconscious and reprogram the bad things out and the good things in, if we are not able to lead our clients from constriction into expansion, then it doesn't work, right? And you won't feel convicted in your ability to sell. And so, personally, I have learned this the hard way. And I'll be honest about that. My first certification barely taught me anything. And I went back. I got another certification. And this time, one was $500. That's the one that didn't teach me anything. And the other one was $15,000. And I learned a lot. And my facilitation skills really grew. And there's more to it though. I mean, even that program didn't actually offer practicums. So I was like, I need more, right? And I'm not saying you have to be like me necessarily, but this is my career. This is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Like, I have 15 certifications now under my belt. And I'm looking for more, right? Like, I want to become the best coach I can be. I want to be so grounded in embodied leadership on how to affect change for somebody. And so for me, it's a no-brainer that when you're convicted in your ability to affect change in someone else, when you are able to sit across from someone, let's say you're on a conversation with a prospective client and they kind of want to do this thing, they do. I mean, obviously they wouldn't be on the call if they didn't, but they're held back. They're held back by fear, they're held back by scarcity, they're held back by, all the doubts, what will people think? What if this? Well, all the kind of catastrophizing that people do. When you have that presence that sees the highest vision of what is possible in their life, if just this was out of the way, or if we were able to build you up to this, how could you not sell to them? And I've had this experience time and time again. I mean, obviously in my earlier career, I found it so much around helping people go alcohol free. It's like I'd help someone go alcohol free and then they would write a memoir. I'd help someone go after alcohol free and then get promotion. I'd help someone go alcohol free and they'd start a business. And I was like, damn, how could I not share this with the world? And as I grew in my career and started, doing more business training and certification, it's like I have worked with women literally who went from full-time job, no time off, super busy, to building their own business, quitting their jobs, making six figures, and now getting book deals. That is what I have seen in my clients. I have seen clients working part-time work, in the hospital or something like that, having no experience with, landing pages and social media or anything, signing 20 clients in their first year. I have seen these incredible what you would call evolutions or miracles, but they're not really miracles to me. It's kind of inevitable. It's like if you really go after your dream to build a movement and a business and a phenomenon that really outlives you, and you take the steps and you're working with someone who sees your blocks and is able to guide you to be the bigger version of yourself and grow into that, it's inevitable. These aren't really miracles, right? It just is what happens. And that's why, in my certification program, we have the most incredible wins. It's so funny. Actually, last year, I have these incredible video reviews that we have from the women who've taken the program and some men. The men are amazing. Always a man, right? But we have these incredible video reviews, and it's like I tried to put them on the certification page last year, and it broke the page. And I was like, uh-oh. Like it was too much data for one internet page. So I was like, I can't even put all these up on one page if I tried. And women just saying it's the best investment they ever made, how much it changed their lives. People saying it was better than therapy, it reprogrammed their mind better than anything. They used it on their families. They used it to sell their highest ticket ever. They used it to get their first client. I mean, on and on and on and on about these incredible wins. And I can't even fit them all on one page if I tried, right? So we have this really fun playlist on my YouTube. You can go check them all out there. And we do have select ones on my certification page and the testimonial page as well. Do you think that doesn't make me convicted? Do you think that doesn't make me feel like all these wins that I've witnessed because we've devised a very clear systemic process for you to follow inside the certification, that if you enroll, you're not going to have your life changed, that you're not going to get results? Is there every so often a straggler who, loses the plot and isn't able to, join the calls and do the thing and life kind of happens? Yes, but we are so flexible. We always let people defer. And no matter what, we are going to help you succeed. That is my mission to you. That is my commitment to you. It's inevitable that you will succeed when you go through a process like this because I have the proof. And so, yeah, I'm pretty convicted in that. I have a very easy time selling that. I have a very easy time showing you what's possible when you use your transformation and turn it into a monetizable business and an offer. I have seen time and time again how that has changed people's lives. Whether you're starting from scratch, whether you're posting but not making those high ticket sales, or whether you're scaling to 6 figures and you need to get to the next level and it's all about your facilitation skills. Or you're coaching already in something else and you really want to add the alcohol-free message in because you know profoundly how much that changed your life. Yes, working out and eating well does too, but you're like, but this one was the biggest domino, so how could I not add that to my wellness business? So I hope this conversation really changed your perspective on what premium selling can do for your life and for your potential clients' lives. It is such a gift for them if we feel icky, salesy, sleazy, or, just uncomfortable. If we feel like, how many times do you go to a masterclass and it's like you're talking all about the transformation and your passion and your story, and then you get to the pitch and it's like your throat dries up, right? This is all common stuff. This is all stuff that happens. But it is our job to work through it and become masters at premium selling so that we can actually change the world. It changes your life, it changes your family's life, it changes your clients' lives, and it creates this ripple effect of a movement that creates so many people's lives. This is like the one skill I would master if I could go back and do it all again. But it's a two-way street because you don't just master premium selling if you don't have the conviction in your own skills. If you don't have the conviction that your program and your offer and your coaching package or whatever is actually going to deliver those skills. Is there a guarantee? No, of course not, right? People have free will. But can you have drastically the odds in your favor when you are so skilled at creating deep change in the subconscious mind? Yeah, hell yes, you can. And so those two things together, premium selling and really deep facilitation skills, it's really unbeatable. And I've been seeing a lot of business coaches in the online education sphere struggle because they never learned the facilitation skills. They grew a business doing, God knows what. They started teaching business. Actually, a lot of business coaches don't grow a business doing God knows what. They first just start talking about business coaching. And there's always something kind of weird with that piece of integrity because it's like, you're teaching people business, but you've never actually grown a successful business. But anyway, my point being is that so many coaches in the business sphere are recognizing that they never learned facilitation skills. They never got certified. They thought that they knew enough from whatever other experience they had. And yeah, sure, can that get you started? Of course. But is there going to be a limit on that? Yes, there is going to be a limit now. And as the industry is changing and so much is changing in the landscape, these people are finding, wow, like they have hit a plateau and they're not growing further from that. They're not able to bring in and sign in more people because that is a huge skill set that they're missing. And I actually would love to call that out because I have been around a lot of business coaches from conferences and stuff like that. They never built a business first, like around something else that would actually make them competent to be able to teach business. So that's weird. But B, they never got trained, like properly trained on how to make changes for someone else. So they can tell you a strategy. They can be like, well, yeah, go here and launch this website and do this class, but they can't actually help you through why your nervous system isn't regulated enough to actually make that strategy work for you, right? And that's what the subconscious skills really helps you with. Recognizing that we were all programmed from such an early age to see the world the way we see it, and that is not reality. And when you're able to really finesse with a client around their worldview, around their beliefs of potentiality, around what they believe about themselves, around alcohol, around other outdated patterns and habits, like things truly change. So if you haven't already, I would love to sit down with you and map out what this global movement would look like for you. I'm offering free sessions. Literally, as this podcast drops, there's probably only a few left. Like I'm talking about one or two left right now to literally sit down and map this out with you. And I'm clearing my calendar to do this and actually moving things around because there's too many women that I talk to who have huge visions and something holds them back. Their fear holds them back, doubts hold them back, trying to be responsible holds them back, trying to save more money before they invest holds them back. And then they come a year or two later and literally nothing's changed. They just waited, nothing actually changed. In fact, I was just looking through some emails. I was like talking back and forth with some people, and I'm like, oh, wow, I asked like how things are going, and they're like, well, I haven't made much progress on my business. I haven't made much progress on actually doing anything with this idea. And that just pains me so much. Do not let that be you, right? Let us do this together. And I hope you can tell I'm not a bro marketer. I don't just have an ad with a funnel. I pour my heart into Euphoric. I've been doing weekly podcast episodes for years. My first year we did bi-weekly, but right after that we switched to weekly. So, I mean, the episode title in itself, right? We're on like 325 or something. Years of showing up in this space. Now recording full-length YouTube videos as well that are going up on my YouTube channel. I've been posting on a near daily basis for years. I have been emailing my audience every week for years, right? If this feels like a vibe for you, if you like my style, if you like the sense of empowerment that you get from listening to my philosophy and my way of operating, I think it's already calling you in. And I'd love for one of those last few spots to go to you. So you can use the show notes below to grab one of those. If you're a good fit for my 5X certification program or thought leader, I will invite you in because I see you in your highest vision. I see what you can create. And I hope this podcast episode was so helpful for those of you who know you have the cure for cancer hiding in your closet and it needs to get out. And you need to really step into premium selling to share it. All right, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.